I'm still adjusting really, but I'm loving it. It's exciting and I'm enjoying it, and it's the best decision I've made. Hi, lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, I'm Winnie, and this is where I share my life experiences. I know it's been a long break. Was it 3 months or more? Can't remember now, but I'm happy that I am back. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click on the subscribe button. Go on, go on, go on. Click on that button now so you stay connected for when I share information that might be beneficial to you. Now, in today's video, I'll be sharing a major life update, so don't go anywhere. Of course, I'll be right back. So, guys, if you followed my channel, you would know by now that I am an international student, or do I say worse, an international student, and I studied a master's in public health and I graduated in June 2023. However, what you don't know is I am yet again a student. Yes. I too like books, Sha. So, whilst I studied a master's in public health, I'd always wanted to study nursing, and this is because I started working as a support worker. So I did that job for about 2 years. Basically, all the time I spent studying a master's in public health, I was working part time as a support worker, what we also know as a healthcare assistant. And I absolutely loved that job. I know a lot of people say, oh, support work is not for me, healthcare assistant is not for me, but that was for me. I really, really, really loved it. Okay, I enjoyed taking care of people, so I found that I felt this fulfillment, this joy, taking care of people, communicating with them, just being a helping hand, okay, supporting them to be independent, to live their best life possible. I just found that this gave me so much satisfaction and joy, so much that I decided I wanted to be more. All right, so I started looking into what I could do, what career path I could go with this experience, and I found that nursing was a good fit for me. Okay, now I decided that immediately I was done with my master's in public health, I was going to enroll for a nursing program. Okay, and this program is a master's in nursing, and it's a pre-registered course, which means that when you study this course for 2 years, at the end of your study, if you successfully graduate, you'll be automatically registered as a nurse in the United Kingdom. Okay, and then you get your PIN. So you don't need to do any extra external exams, because every exam you need, everything you need, is it comes in a package with the course. Okay, but there are requirements, and not everybody meets these requirements. And let me add that this course is highly competitive, and spaces close up, or do I say run out fast. So I knew I had to take action quickly. So what I did was, by December 2022, remember my course was to end in May 2023. But as at December 2022, I put in my applications to, I think, about 4 or 5 schools. I used a platform called UCAS. That platform is amazing because it helps you put in your application, just one personal statement, and then they forward it to the universities of your choice. You choose the universities you want. So that's what I did. I applied to Bournemouth, I applied to University of Chester, I applied to Plymouth, I applied to University of Hertfordshire. I don't know if I pronounced correctly, but these are the universities I applied to through UCAS. That was in December. I think the 5th day of December was when I sent out my application. So I now had to relax, focus on my dissertation, and wait for when I get feedbacks or offers and know what the next step of action would be. So, guys, I just wanted to share this bit of information. That's what I did. And I think I started getting offers. No, I started getting feedback almost immediately after I put in my application, because I know a lot of schools responded back telling me they had received my application. Some requested for further information like my result, my BSc, because for you to study this program, there are requirements, and each school has their specific requirements. Okay, but I'm going to be talking from a general um, um, stand now. So I won't be specific to all the universities I applied for to. So I'll just give you the general bits of information that you might need if you're interested in doing this. So first of all, you will need your BSc, you need a degree. Now, that degree does not necessarily need to be a science degree. All right. I didn't have a science degree, guys, but I applied anyway. So put in your degree, and also the most important thing you will need is experience, because a normal nursing degree, it's 3 years. It takes you 3 years to qualify to become a nurse, okay, through the BSc program. However, if you're going on the MSc route, you actually need to show that you have experience that equals to 1 year of study, since you will only be spending 2 years, if you understand what I mean. And what they actually seek for is experience in care, experience taking care of people, maybe as a support worker, a healthcare assistant, a volunteer in a healthcare setting. Just you need to show that you have the required level of competence and experience that can be translated to your first year nursing degree. Thankfully, I already had nearly 2 years experience working as a support worker. So what I did was fill a portfolio. Now, I won't be going into that details because I already have a video that I detailed everything you need to know about the MSc pre-registered nursing program. So I'll put the link in the comment section or in the caption so you can go back and watch that video if you need information. All right. So I had to fill my portfolio. My manager had to sign indicating that I achieved a certain number of hours. All right. Now, the only way we could do that was through my timesheets, calculating how many hours of work I had put in. But trust me, with nearly 2 years, I had more than enough. I think I accrued about 1,500 hours. And what was needed was, I think, approximately 700 or 800. I can't remember, but I will put the actual amount in the description. All right. So I filled the portfolio form and sent it to the universities that requested for it. All universities will ask you for a portfolio, definitely, because that's what translates to your first year BSc nursing degree. All right. So I filled the portfolio, and then I had to wait, submitted my documents, and then I had interviews, guys. Interviews. All the universities booked me for an interview. The good thing was I didn't need to travel to any of the universities because all the interviews were done over Team or Zoom, all right? So it's basically them asking you questions just to be sure that you are the right person for the course, all right? In a separate video, I will be talking about the questions, likely questions that usually pop up in this kind of interviews. But if you have interviewed as a healthcare assistant, then it's something similar to that kind of interview questions. Those are is basically related. But one thing that they will always ask you is why you want to study nursing. And I think that's general because they really want to know why you chose that career path, all right? So I think I passed. Three schools gave me offers, why one school did not give me any offer at all. And then I had to choose which was more flexible for me. But one thing that you need to know is if you are applying from within the UK, then you don't actually need to show proof of funds. If you have lived for at least, is it 12 months? Let me confirm so I don't give you the wrong information. Mm, yeah, if you've lived in the UK for at least 12 months, then you don't need to show proof of funds. Now, being that I had stayed here for nearly 2 years, I didn't need to show proof of funds. Okay, so that was ticked off the box. However, I needed to show academic progression, and this because I just finished, I was going to finish a level 7 course, and then I was going to start another level 7 course. So obviously I was going to move into a course at the same level with the one I had just finished studying. So I needed to show that there was some sort of progression in it and they were related to each other. Now you have to do that, because without that you won't be able to, the university won't even give you a CAS, because on your CAS they need to indicate that they have assessed you and found that there is academic progression between your previous course of study and what you are going for. If you understand what I mean. The only situation where you don't need to show academic progression will be when you're going for a course at a higher level than the one you just finished studying. Let's say, for example, I was going to study a PhD, then I wouldn't need to show any academic progression, because obviously it's at a higher level. But because I was going for the course on the same level, level 7, I needed to show that they were related to each other and there was academic progression. So you will need that. In the case of the school that eventually gave me an offer that I chose, they asked me for a personal statement showing how my previous study, which is a Masters of Public Health, relates to nursing, Masters of Nursing, and how that also relates to my future goals and ambition. So I needed to write a convincing personal statement highlighting areas where these subjects were related to each other and how they were definitely going to help me progress, to achieve my future goals and ambition. So that was one thing I needed to tick off the box. What else did I need to tick off the box? Obviously, I needed to pay deposit. Now, let me tell you, MSc in nursing in the UK is not moi moi. It's not beans. It's not cheap. Okay. Now, the school fees ranges from, I think, 7,000 for some schools to 14,500 for some other universities, and that is yearly. All right. Now, in my case, I don't know why. I really, really, really don't know why, but I was asked to pay a deposit of £8,000, guys. £8,000. And this was, I think, in February, March. I think February or March. Yeah, February, March, or April. I can't remember. No, it has to be February, either February or March. That was when I received an email that I needed to go ahead, having passed the interview. I needed to pay my deposits, £8,000. Meanwhile, I had already planned that the deposit was going to be £4,000 or £5,000, but guess what? It was £8,000. So I actually paid that deposit to secure my space because, like I told you, um, MSc in nursing is an accelerated course and highly competitive. So there are few spaces on the program. So I needed to pay my deposit to secure my space, or else, even though I had passed my what's it called interview, I could have lost that opportunity. All right, because in the interview I was actually advised to pay my deposit once I get the feedback that I had passed, and I could go ahead to pay the deposit because chances run out fast. So I needed to pay that deposit, and guess what, guys? I did not use form A. There was no time for me to use form A, so I had to pay British pounds. £8,000. Oh my goodness. But I was determined to do this, all right, and I had already planned towards this. It wasn't a decision I just woke up one morning and took. I had planned towards it, I had been saving towards it. So I already knew that I was definitely going to need money to do this. So I paid my deposit and then I had to wait. Okay, you know why? Because one of the conditions that was given to me was I needed to successfully graduate from my course. As at February, I had paid my deposit. However, I was still writing my university dissertation, and this course requires English. All right, you know, if you're coming in from outside the country to work as a nurse in the UK, you actually need to show English proficiency. the IELTS, you actually need to pass it at a certain level. I don't know what the level is now, but I know you actually need to pass it. It's the same for when you're studying nursing, all right? So I needed an IELTS, but guess what? It was waived for me because I was already studying at a level 7 in a university in the UK. So my English requirement this time around was me successfully graduating from my course. So I needed to upload that certificate, and that also showed them that I had the level of English proficiency that they needed for the course. There was no point for me going to do an English first again because I had already studied on level 7 in the UK. I mean, how did I manage to pass if I was not understanding English? If you get what I mean. So that was an advantage to me. I didn't need to start paying for IELTS and writing IELTS. So I didn't need that. However, if you're coming from outside the UK, you will need an English test to find out from the school what their requirements are. All right. So I didn't need the test, but I had to wait for me to apply for my visa. I had to wait for me to graduate, for me to get my certificate and upload. All right. So I had to wait. And as soon as I got my certificate, I put in my application for visa. And guess what? I applied for my visa, and the next day I received my visa. I did not use priority. It was just the normal visa application. I don't know how, but I was surprised. And this time around, I didn't need to do a what's it called, biometrics. No, what I did was I downloaded the UK Immigration ID app on my phone, scanned my previous BRP, did a photo with my phone using the app, and that was it. I filled some other bits and pieces of information, and that was how I did my BRP, my biometrics. So I didn't need to travel anywhere for biometrics. That's an advantage of applying from inside the UK. All right. So guys, I think this video is long, but in a subsequent video, I'll be giving you breakdown analysis of how I applied for my visa, my student visa from within the UK. Literally, it's how I extended, because it's called an extension of your student visa. So I will be sharing details in that video on how I extended my student visa. So guys, this is what I wanted to drop, and this is obviously the reason why I haven't been so active since I think December. It's because I was trying to adjust to the new course. I'm still adjusting really, but I'm loving it. It's exciting and I'm enjoying it, and it's the best decision I've made. So guys, I hope you learned something from my video. If you have any questions for me, please leave it in the comment section, and you know I'll respond to your questions. Until we meet again, keep winning and enjoying life. And please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click on the subscribe button now. All right, like, share, comment on this video, and I love you guys. Until we meet again, bye.